Not like I've played a ton of new games that came out in 2021, but Eastward is definitely my game of the year. It's the best 2D Zelda style game I've played in a long time. I'm honestly a bit befuddled, like finding an uncrushed little Debbie snack in your coat pocket. It's a little strange, you're not 100% certain where it came from or when you might have tucked it in there, but you're knackered for something to eat, for something sweet, something to tide you over till you get home for a proper meal. Then you notice something you didn't notice before. It's not only your favorite snack, but you found two of them. You devour it and no longer feel the sting of hunger for the remainder of the day. It hit the spot, saved you a meal, and was overall pleasant. It's the snack that became a meal. That is how I feel about Eastward. I bought the game on a whim. Didn't hear much of anything about it until a month before its release. Some of the promotional concept art used is incredibly divisive, to say the least. Sam looks like the Milky Kid, so that's kind of cute. However, for as met as that stuff is, the in-game graphics and world are extremely pretty. For a game made by, when it first started, 3 people that ballooned out to 12, it's certainly a statement. It may have taken a few years, but the results are impressive. The gameplay is nice as you'll be controlling 2 characters throughout, and John is our silent Link stand-in, whose weapon of choice is a frying pan. He'll also get a gun, a flamethrower, and a projectile weapon that spits out saws. Plus, he'll get 3 different types of bombs. Each are hard out bomb chews. We have ones that fly, and will dart at targets. Sam, on the other hand, has energy attacks, which do less to harm and more for stunning, healing, or defensive purposes. And very unlike our Silent John, Sam is as bubbly as her theme song. But you know what? It doesn't detract and sets up a good duality rife throughout this game. This is something I do also like because you are controlling 2 separate characters. A big plus for it is that the puzzles really aren't brain-breaking. You'll have to juggle between utilizing both of them on 2 separate but nearby paths. You'll have to use their abilities to help the other character get through sections and stuff. Nothing super duper mind-blowing, but it's enough to keep you active, and I like it. Also, to add to the gameplay here is that you'll be able to do some cooking, and depending on the foods that are used, you will be able to increase your temporary hearts, fill up more hearts, have more defense, have more offense, use less of your ammunition. That and the recipes are retained, so you don't have to think of new ones, and some of them are very specific and some of them are not. Most of them are not specific, but the very specific ones, I know, it was fun to figure out which ones were what for specificity for it, because I'm a dork. I like those things. Eastward also decided to wear the big boy pants and tackle a post-apocalyptic world. People squeak by through hard work, through might, through simply living the everyday. And though life is tough, it is still worth living. It's better to go through the day living and not spin one's wheels in the muck and mire of the very present doom of a destructive miasma. It's this balance that I appreciate. I enjoyed The Last of Us. Can't really say anything about 2. Haven't really had any chance to try it, or reading The Road outside of the last paragraph, but grim, brutal desolation is no stranger to my heart. However, stripping the claws but keeping the fangs of doom, the oppressive environment lingers, but isn't all-encompassing, allowing breathing room for warmth and cheer. Cheer absence in other stories doesn't make a post-apocalyptic setting more grim, but when we are robbed of that, when warmth and joy are taken away from us in the moment, the dread becomes more pointed, more actively oppressive. Like the job's not done, nor will it be until I say so. It feels like it has more teeth to it instead of just being this simmering, bubbling existence just below the surface. Eastward details the journey of John and Sam as they are banned from John's hometown, the underground town of Potcrock Isle, where everyone is told how the world above is nothing but death and poisonous miasma. A town where those who speak out against those holy words, or the garbage mare, are put in a tight spot, and if, read as when, found guilty, rides Charon to the doomed surface above. Also of note, John is seen as a good-for-nothing who found Sam during a digging expedition. The duo will head east first because that is the way they're heading, but that journey eventually changes from one of circumstance to one of necessity. This journey also comes with the contract. If you do not heavily explore areas, you will miss out on obtainables, treasure chests, and power-ups. However, fear not. If you are into collecting but hate missing out, after you beat the game, you can select chapters to blitz through to get that which was missed. The story is a mixed bag of a few different games and ideas, but outside of one major element, they do a great job in not spilling all its contents at first. Not only that, but aspects aren't fully explored or explained. There are hints and clues throughout, but even then there are some pieces that don't quite have a full explanation. That or I missed it. Most notably, I'm thinking of two of the characters really, Solomon and Isabel, but I think there's enough information there that you can get an idea of what's going on with them that you don't really need more, just do a little bit of digging on it. That is a quality about this game, honestly, I enjoy. It's not for everyone, but the caps allow the mind to wander or wonder. Plus, though this game is broken into chapters, it's not this neat piece of pie where each chapter is the same length, the same cadence, the same repetition. It's got more in common with a story written than you see a lot of times with the beats and rhythms of a TV show or a string of movies. Intertwined and peppered throughout are nods and references to all sorts of different things, but not always in your face, nor is it all the time. The game's humor steps in the direction of something like Earthbound or Undertale, but walks its own path, and is probably why I like it a lot more than those other two, which rub me the wrong way with their silliness. As for the music all around, I dig it. At times, the OST has this Streets of Rage vibe to it. At others, it is as Genki and friendly as can be. There's a lot of range, and some of it is, like all OSTs, where there's some filler here rather than some killer, but honestly there's also times where the music is incredibly impactful in conveying a sense, such as things like dread and uneasiness. I highly enjoyed it. Is this game for everyone? Nah, of course not. Some people are not going to like the pacing's unevenness, the story's unwillingness to be direct or abundantly clear of all of its elements. Some people will find that bothersome. The easy side of puzzles and not so tough action for a game that took me some 30 hours to beat will be like a simmering pot roast that takes just too long for some to enjoy. But like I said before, I feel like 2D Zelda games, slow burns with a heaping portion of character with its environments and characters, I highly recommend it. Or if that's not your thing, there's a whole game within a game. A roguelike JRPG where outside of the game you can collect figures from a gachapon to use as items in the game. You're tasked with defeating the great evil within 7 days. So you're actually timed on it, and it's by your movement, not necessarily just the timing of it. It's honestly like playing a Game Boy or Game Gear era JRPG that's wearing a Dragon Quest mask, because it's such a big fan. And you know what? Honestly, you could buy this game on the cheap during a sale, and Earthborn is totally worth the price of admission alone. That's how much I enjoyed it. If you want to see more on that, I have failed miserably. There are a couple videos on it that you can check out to be like, oh, that's how it is. That's really about it. Definitely recommend it, and hope you give it a shot. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.